Whoa, look, dude. That's amazing.
What is going on, guys? It has been a while. So this video is just basically to try to catch you up on stuff I've been doing, and to say that I'm going to try to start making some videos again. So about a year and a half before I graduated here at SBU, my family ended up moving up to Bolivar, and so now we all live here in Bolivar, at least my immediate family, which is my mom, my dad, and my sister. My sister still goes to SBU at this point. So yeah, it's been interesting living in the town that I really only went to college in, and have only lived in for about 2 years now. It's an interesting feeling. It's a very small town compared to where I used to live, but I do enjoy it. So yeah, big things have happened. We've moved to Missouri. I graduated college, and as you can probably tell, if you missed one of the last videos I made, this obviously is not a 2007 Ford Focus hatchback. I no longer own the 2007 Ford Focus that I called Red 5, and in fact that car is no longer on the road. Not too long after I sold it, the guy ended up rear-ending somebody, kind of effectively totaling the car. But he's okay. I keep in touch with him. He's at the church that I used to go to in Florida. So he's all good. Just ended up having to get a new car. But yeah, so the vehicle I'm currently sitting in is not the vehicle I got straight after that. I went a little while without a car. Finally found a 2014 Nissan Frontier King Cab with a 5-speed manual, because that was something that I really wanted to get into, was a manual transmission. And I kind of wanted a truck. I wanted something bigger. It was one of the reasons I sold the 2007 Ford Focus. I effectively named that truck White Fang. Now, I didn't have that truck for very long. In only a few days of ownership, I ended up having to replace the tires, which ended up bubbling on the sidewalls. So I fit the biggest all-terrain tire I could fit under a 2014 Nissan Frontier with stock ride height. Shortly after getting those tires, I actually fitted a rough country leveling kit to the front, so it leveled out the truck. I also remembered that I said I would never do suspension work again after doing the 2007 Ford Focus. But to be fair, the Frontier took a lot less time and was somewhat easier because I didn't have to take apart the strut to get to the spring, because I was just putting a plate on top of the strut to add, like, I think it was like 2.5 inches or something like that to level it out. Anyway, I did put a cover on the bed, because going back and forth from Florida and Missouri, I wanted to make sure that I could put stuff in the back and then cover it in case of rain, or, you know, driving on the highway, keeping stuff in the truck, stuff like that. I ended up putting a CB radio and antenna on the truck. I ended up replacing like every light with LED bulbs. I did quite a few things to the truck, as well as having to leave the truck over an entire summer here in Bolivar, because the truck had a really bad problem of burning oil. I effectively named it for a while the Cloud Machine, because every time I started it up, it would send a massive cloud of smoke, whichever way the direction the wind was facing or the tailpipe was facing. So that was fun. Eventually got it all fixed, and shortly after getting it all fixed, I got T-boned. And it effectively totaled the truck. Amazingly, I got out okay. My sister got out okay. But that truck was effectively totaled, and I was again without a vehicle. Now, this period of not having a vehicle was a lot shorter, being that it happened in September, and I ended up getting the current vehicle in November of the same year. Let's actually take a look at the current vehicle. All right, so this is my current truck and daily driver. It is a 2014 F-150 Super Cab with a 6.5 foot bed. I'll give you a quick overview of it, of things about it and things I've done to it, and then I'll talk about later things I want to do to it. So this truck has the 5-liter Coyote V8. It sounds great. I'll have another video on exhaust mods that I did, as well as I put a cold air intake on it. But I'll have a whole separate video on that, so I won't go too into detail with that. These are aftermarket headlight housings. They've got daytime running lights, which I had to go in and program to make it so that there are daytime running lights. But so those are cool. These are not the tires that came on the truck. The tires that came on the truck were a 265. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they were 265, and the rated for the truck is a 275. So these are Pathfinder all-terrains. They are 275 65 R18s. So pretty decent tire. Not the exact tires that I wanted, but I had to replace these tires recently because I got a nail in the passenger front tire. So I had to unexpectedly replace tires, because when I took it into the tire shop, they told me it was very close to when you need to replace them. So I just ended up going ahead and replacing them. So like I said, 5-liter Coyote. I put this little badge in here. I realized that I could have put it over here like the EcoBoost badges. I just kind of liked it there. Got the little American flag decal or badge. I went ahead and put tow mirrors on it because it's a personal preference of mine, and they have come in very handy, especially because they give you a ton more visibility than the stock mirrors do. I did notice when I was driving, you know how, so these trucks, this body line kind of swoops down like that. Sometimes it's hard to see cars on that side of the truck, on the passenger side, when you're driving. So these tow mirrors, you can see like everything if you adjust it correctly. So I really like the tow mirrors. And if you could see it when I was showing the truck earlier, got these little pod lights, 2 little pod lights. I have plans to add some more, but we can get into that later. These are really nice. I don't use them very often, but hopefully in the future I'll be using them. So the truck is a super cab, so that means I have like full-size front seats, and actually I can fold the armrest up and make a bench seat, so technically I could fit 3 in the front. And then I have a back seat. It just doesn't have as much legroom as, say, a crew cab would, or a super crew cab. I forgot to mention that the mirrors are actually heated, so that's nice. So they've got a heated mirror. So one of the things that this truck has, as we're going to the back and I'm looking at the gas cap, one of the things that this truck has, first of all, is of course the flex fuel, so I'm able to run E85 if I want to. And it looks like there's some water dripping out because I ran it through the car wash. So I can run E85. But the other thing that is different about this truck that not all F-150s have, and there may be more F-150s than I realize with it, but it's got the upgraded 36-gallon fuel tank instead of, I think the regular one is a 26-gallon. So this thing can cruise on the highway for a decent amount. Now when you have to fill it up, it's not pretty, but I've been able to cruise on the highway. The highest I've seen the range at was like 640, and it sat at 640 for a while before it started going down, so I'm wondering if like the computer can only go so high and so it stops it at 640. But yeah, so the 36-gallon fuel tank is really nice on long trips. It's not really nice when you have to just refill it on the day-to-day basis. Coming to the back here, it is a 4x4. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, but it's a 4x4. And I added a little sticker here that has what I named the truck, Gray Ghost, because it's a gray truck, and I just thought that was a really cool name. So if we come to the back here, you can obviously see the aftermarket taillight housings, as well as there's a smoked out LED third brake light up there, and you can obviously see the CB antenna. That's not technically hooked up to anything, because I need to get a new CB radio. These aftermarket taillight housings are like completely LED. They've also got an LED running light that goes all the way around like the edges of the taillight, giving it that more updated look that the newer F-150s have. Now a lot of people compliment my truck and how it, you know, seems really nice, partially because I think, you know, I keep up with the truck. I don't let it like rust or anything. I try to keep, you know, track of keeping it nice, because I got the truck really nice and I would like to keep it running for as long as I can, but partially because these taillights and the headlights and all that kind of give it a little bit of a more updated look, which I really like, and that was the reason I went for these rear taillights, and then the front headlights I just went because they looked like stock but had daytime running lights in them. If you come completely to the back here, I did an easy like $20 mod that anybody can do to their older trucks. I added the strut right inside here that allows for the I think it's called soft open. That's a hit. A lot of people don't realize that you can do that, or think a lot of times I didn't know that comes on, you know, those trucks, and I say it doesn't. I paid $20 on Amazon and put it on there myself. Really easy mod. Probably, I think it was one of the first mods I did to the truck, because I thought it would be really nice to have. As well as back here we have just a roll up tonneau cover, just a plain roll up tonneau cover from Amazon, but it's been doing a good job. And if we come right up to the front here, I replaced the stock antenna with a bullet antenna. I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep the bullet antenna. It's been on there for 2 years, and I don't know if you can see on camera, but this used to be a nice bright blue, almost like the same color as that, and the sun has really, you know, made it fade. Really nice antenna. I don't usually listen to the radio anyway, so the antenna is just more of a aesthetic thing. I think I'm going to go for one of those short antennas, maybe not get a new bullet antenna. Maybe I'll get a new bullet antenna. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll find out. And aside from the aftermarket headlight housings and everything, every bulb is an LED now. I've converted like every single bulb on the outside to LED. I will put up videos of the lights at night so you can see what they look like, because obviously today in the sunlight you're not going to be able to see it very well. But if you look really closely in the grill, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3 LED lights. Those are Raptor style lights that you can buy for these trucks. Now, yes, I could have gone for the, typical Raptor style grill that everyone likes to put on these trucks and that everyone likes to put on like literally every F-150, but the thing is, I didn't buy a Raptor as much as a Raptor would be nice. I've never really liked the aftermarket Raptor style grills that they put on these trucks. So I decided not to go for it. I do actually like the chrome grill. I think it's very period or era correct for this generation of F-150. And I like that. Now, I am thinking about paint matching the bumpers so that it looks a little bit cleaner, but I'm going to keep the chrome grille. But I really wanted the 3 amber lights set up that all the Raptors and stuff have now, but I did not want to switch to that Raptor style grill. Well, luckily there's a company, and I'm blanking on the company, but I can put a picture of it up, that makes a rail that you basically bolt to the back side of the grill, and you'll be able to see the 3 amber lights through there. I've actually gotten a couple waves from Raptor owners because I guess they think it's cool. So yeah. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this overview of my 2014 F-150. Yes, I'm wearing a different shirt. Yes, my beard is incredibly short. It was one of those instances where you go in, you do something, and you realize that was a mistake, but oh well, now I have to deal with it. But it will grow back, so everything's fine. So anyway, I was going to go into detail of all the plans that I have for this truck, but in editing this video, I'm realizing that the video would be 25 minutes long, probably a little bit less than that, because I'd probably edit out maybe 5 minutes if I was lucky. So I'm just going to give a quick summary of what I'm going to do to the truck, or what my ultimate goal for the truck is. I want to build a kind of an overland build, not like a super serious overland build, but an overland build that I can still drive this as a daily driver, but when I want to go camping and I want to go do stuff like overlanders, I can do that. So yeah, in short, that's what I want to do with the truck, and that requires certain things for the vision that I have for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. That kind of catches you up on things that I've been doing, in case you were wondering. It kind of catches you up on my car situation, sort of. But for the sake of this video, I think we're gonna call it an end. So yeah, hope to see you in the next one.